Hey everyone. Awesome. Welcome everyone to another teaching here on Facebook. If you're tuning in for the first time and you don't know who I am, my name is Stef. I'm a psychic business empowerment coach. I mainly work with spiritual entrepreneurs or spiritual people to teach them how to manifest anything that they want in their personal lives as well as their businesses. So I do this through really helping my clients have such a high level of awareness around what their limiting beliefs are, their past emotional stories or experiences, and releasing those things or fears. And so as I teach my clients how to have this high level of awareness around those things and releasing that energy, they then raise their vibration and frequency and allow themselves to become a match for the things that they desire. So that allows them to manifest whatever they want. Hey Dan, how are you? Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Every Friday, I do these video teachings here on my YouTube channel live at around 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So always tune in on Fridays to join me live. Otherwise, you can always join me on Facebook. The links are in the description of this video for you to join me on my Facebook business page and like and follow my page there because I do free teachings there as well. And I also have a free Facebook group currently called Divine Creation. So the link to the group is also in the description, and you can join me there on my business page and my group because that is where I do additional teachings, and my teachings there are usually 30 minutes long to an hour long. So if you really enjoy my teachings, you can join me there. Otherwise, you can just wait patiently as I upload my teachings from Facebook onto YouTube, and you can still catch some of those teachings here on my channel as well. And anything else I want to say on that? I think that's basically it. So if you enjoy this content, please make sure to like this video and to subscribe to this channel. And feel free to share your comments with me after you get done watching this. I would really love to hear from you. So when I tuned in today and I asked my guides what I needed to share on YouTube this morning, I got experiencing your true self is one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself, okay? And so what they're meaning by this is that your true self, what exactly is that? That's your higher self. That's the spiritual aspect of you, because you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So even though this physical body that you're residing in feels very real and is tangible right now, that's not who you truly are. That's just a tiny little speck of who you truly are, because you're a spiritual being, and your spirit is so huge. It's such a big and powerful energy that only a tiny little bit of that can reside here in this physical body, because otherwise, if all of that powerful energy and consciousness that you truly are were to try to come into this body, you'd probably explode or something, because it's so much energy and it would be too much for your body to handle. So a lot of times we think this is who we are, and we identify with, our physical appearance and our physical material things, and we think so little of ourselves. We think poorly of ourselves. We think that we're not powerful and so many other not nice things about ourselves. But that's not who we truly are, because if we really recognized who we truly are on this spiritual level, we would know that we're all powerful, that we're all abundant, that we're freaking amazing, that we can do anything and everything, and that we have the ability to create whatever it is that we want. So most people don't know who they truly are, though. They don't make this connection to who they are on the spiritual level. They don't know that that's, who they are in this non-physical form. Okay, they identify so strongly with this physical body and the physical experiences or the past experiences that they've had in this physical body, and the hardships and the negative beliefs and so on. And so they're so connected to something completely opposite of who they truly are. Okay, because on the one hand, it's like you're on a scale, and on the one hand, the one end of the scale, that's who you truly are. You're this amazing, powerful, loving, beautiful, brilliant being who is absolutely amazing and has no uncertainty, no fear, no doubt, no disbelief. Like, you're just deep in the trust, deep in the love, the fulfillment, the expansion, the abundance. You're deep in all the good things, right? But again, because of this physical human experience that we've had, when we've had, certain experiences in life early on that were difficult or whatever, we start being programmed with a lot of negative beliefs, a lot of deep emotional stuff, fears. And so we start being on the other end of the spectrum, and we start thinking very poorly about ourselves, about what's possible, about what we can do, about changing our circumstances. So we start getting onto the other end of the spectrum. And when we come into this physical world that we live in, we came from the spirit, and came here into the physical. And when we came here to the physical, we forgot that that's who we truly are, that spiritual being, okay? And the reason that we forgot that that's who we truly are is because if we knew who we truly were, if we really truly knew, like, I'm speaking to this to you now, and maybe it's resonating with you. Maybe on some level you consciously believe as well, like, yes, that's who I truly am. I'm a powerful spiritual being. And consciously you believe it, okay? But unconsciously, you haven't yet really embodied it. Because if you really embodied it, you would be living your dream life right now. You would be living your life to the max right now, doing all the amazing things that you really would want to be doing right now. But if you're not living your dream life in this moment, and you're not doing all of these amazing things that you want to do, it's because a lot of times you're holding on to a lot of stories. You know, oh, I can't do this. What if I fail? What if I don't succeed? I'm going to put it off, and you procrastinate, or it's not perfect. You have all of these stories that keep you from really moving forward with these things that you want to do, or to create what you want to create. And so that lets you know, that's a clear indicator that even though consciously you might agree with what I'm saying, and you might believe with, you know, what I'm saying, on an unconscious level, you don't really fully embody it, because if you did, the external reality would be completely different. Okay, but there's, you know, don't feel bad, because this is a journey. And so we went from the spirit world down here into the physical, forgetting who we were, because if we really knew who we were from the get-go and we remembered it the whole entire time, then this physical experience wouldn't have the contrast that it has. Everything would just be super easy. People are just instantaneously creating what they want, doing what they want, and they wouldn't have any kind of friction that would allow for them to grow and evolve and expand. So we came here from the spirit world into the physical to forget who we are, to experience that contrast, experience being on the other end of that spectrum, and so that we could make the journey back to who we are. And in making that journey of back to who we are, we grow, we expand, we evolve, we start empowering ourselves and really recognizing, wow, I'm really truly a powerful, amazing, abundant being. This is truly who I am, and it feels amazing. Because I don't know if you've ever, I'm pretty sure everyone here at some point can remember a time where you felt like something was hard for you, right? And in the beginning, you had struggles with it. Maybe it was learning to tie your shoes, riding a bike, swimming, whatever it was, right? And you had challenges with it, and it was a struggle, and maybe you wanted to give up, and so on and so forth. But then you finally got the hang of it. Finally, you started doing it. Finally, you started being easy, and you started feeling super proud of yourself that you achieved that you accomplished that, and how amazing and empowered you feel within yourself that you were able to do that, right? Cool. So when you go through that kind of process of experiencing that contrast and then making your way back to who you are, you get to feel that same kind of feeling of like, wow, look at how far I've come. Look at how much I've changed for the better. Look at how empowered I feel. Look at how different my life is. Oh my God, and I did this. You know, I showed up for myself. I made these shifts, and you get to experience that sense of pride for yourself, of gratitude, of fulfillment, because you took yourself through the process, instead of just innately just being placed, you know, just coming here feeling totally connected to who you are and staying that way, and then not noticing the difference. For you, it's just like, what, this is who I am, like, whatever, nothing big here, nothing special, it's just who I am, right? You know, people sometimes they say, like, if you do something to earn money, then you'll feel that sense of pride or accomplishment, instead of just being given money from a very young age, maybe not valuing that money, not appreciating that money, that kind of thing. It's a similar kind of situation where when you take yourself through this journey of being on the opposite of the spectrum and coming back to your truth, to the truth of who you are, you get to experience that, and you get to really truly value it and appreciate it and understand it on different levels, and so on and so forth. So that's why we're here as spiritual beings having a human experience, is to forget who we are, you know, be in the spiritual, remembering who we are, then coming down here, forgetting who we are, being on the opposite end because we've had challenging experiences, we started developing lots of limiting beliefs, fears, emotional stuff, and then coming back to the truth of who we are. And that's why so many people always say it's about the journey. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. And I know many times in my own journey, I've gotten sick of that expression because I'm like, dang, this journey, right? But I've really come to really appreciate the journey as I've gone along my own path, because looking back on who I was just a few years ago to who I am now, I'm so proud of the person I have become. I'm so proud that I kept going when things looked hard. I'm so proud of seeing where I'm at today and where I started. And if you follow me on my business page or my group especially, or maybe you follow me on my personal page on Facebook, I've been sharing all about this, about where I started. Recently in my Facebook group, I shared some pictures of my apartment, because I live in a very beautiful luxury apartment. And I never in a million years, when I first returned to Peru, thought that I could afford to live on my own, first of all, because I didn't make enough teaching English, and I was always struggling and all of these other things. And I always thought I was going to either need a roommate, and I couldn't really have the nicest things ever. And now I'm blessed to be able to afford to live in my own 2-story apartment with very beautiful furniture, comfortable. I don't have to share the space with anyone. I pay good money for what I get to have here, and I'm able to do that for myself. And I'm receiving so much more abundance today by doing work that actually fulfills me, that lights me up, and getting paid generously for it, and getting paid amounts that I never thought were possible for me just 10 years ago when I first returned to Peru, right? And seeing how different my life has changed as a result of me coming back to my truth and really empowering myself and knowing that anything is possible, and really being grateful for that, right, along the journey. So this is really what it's about. Is most people don't know who they truly are. They think they know. A lot of times they identify so much with certain labels they've given themselves, or that labels that other people have given them, or they identify so much with the past difficult experiences that they've had, a lot of times traumatic experiences, as a lot of people would call them. And it's so deeply programmed into them. They're so deeply programmed with all of this low vibrational stuff that they don't even notice. They don't notice that they're still staying on the opposite end of the spectrum, and that they're not moving forward more in the direction of who they truly are. And so an example that I want to give you of that is, recently I started taking salsa classes. And I'm very mindful of my words. I teach mindset. And last year I really noticed that I kept telling myself I was a bad dancer. And I said, I'm not going to say this anymore. I'm not going to tell myself I'm a bad dancer. There's always a solution for that. I can take dance classes. I will not be a bad dancer. And I'm not going to keep telling myself I'm a bad dancer, because that just reinforces it. So I decided then last year, I was like, I'm going to stop with this, and I'm not going to keep repeating this and programming myself, because it's very unconscious behavior. When someone from a very young age puts something into your head, or you put something into your head, from a very young age, you really just believe that, and you just keep going with that over and over and over again, and telling yourself those stories. And you tell yourself those stories so much that you start believing them as truth, and that you think that's who you are, when really it isn't. And so what I did recently was, I ended up accidentally, but I guess it's never an accident, I manifested a salsa teacher. I stumbled across a salsa class, and so I've been going to the classes this week. I've gone to 3 classes, and I noticed yesterday in the class, like, a lot of my old stuff was coming up, and these are things that I've worked through, or I've released on many different levels, but it shows up in many different ways. And so I was having some challenges with some of the steps. I felt like in my mind, like, the instructor was trying to teach me so much more than my brain could process. I'm like, one step at a time. Don't teach me all these different steps. Like, I'm just trying to get the basics and all these different things. But the story in my head was, like, oh, I suck at dancing. I suck at dancing. I'm not as good of a dancer as my family is, and my relatives, and all this other stuff, and da-da-da. Like, that was the story. And so I would get caught up, as my teacher would sometimes, like, put me on the spot. Not just me, but, like, my teacher indicates everyone, like, okay, now you do the dance move. Now you do the dance move. And then when it would come to my turn, I would be like, oh my God, freeze. I would forget temporarily, because that's a lot of the unconscious stuff. Like, unconsciously, there's a story of, I'm a bad dancer, I'm a bad dancer. So when it's my turn to show a step or something that I'm being asked to do that I was just taught, and all eyes are on me to show everyone, like, hey, here I am doing it, all of a sudden I freeze, because there's this unconscious story of, I'm not good at dancing, right? And that's what a lot of people do, is they unconsciously believe so many different things without being aware of it. I know for a lot of people, especially, there's a lot of people that identify as introverts, right? And there are people that have been able to use that label of being introverted to be a skill, or not be a skill, but be a strength for them, and they still are able to succeed and create successful businesses, even though they feel they identify as introverted. And so, like, typically people who are introverted are not good with being around so many people all the time and all this other stuff, right? So there are people that still are able to use that to their advantage despite that. But with the label of being introverted, a lot of times this is a lot of unconscious stuff. You think that's who you are because maybe that's what you were conditioned to be. Maybe that's what someone told you were, and so on and so forth. And so you've lived your life thinking, yes, I'm introverted. Yes, I'm introverted, for whatever other external reasons. And you believe that's who you truly are. And maybe it really isn't part of your soul's truth. Maybe your soul's truth is you're super extroverted, or you're a balanced, introvert, extrovert type person. But you're so stuck on that label and thinking that's who you are. And so you don't allow yourself to really show up in the world as this powerful, amazing, bright version of you. Does that make sense? So to really come back to your truth, to really come back to this higher self version of you, you really have to go within and release all of this conditioning that you've received from your childhood about who you are and what's possible for you, and so on and so forth. And as you release all of this conditioning and the past energy and so on, you get to then develop greater confidence. You get to have greater self-belief. You get to have greater self-worth. You get to be braver. You get to trust yourself more, trust life more. You get to have greater joy in your life, a greater sense of well-being. You get to have all of these amazing things that are part of who you truly are. Because as you release all of the old stories that make you be in the opposite of all of that, you then get to experience more of who you truly are. And your life starts radically changing powerfully because you're so much more connected to this truth, right? And so a lot of times you believe, though, you're so deeply conditioned as a human to believe that you're not successful, that you're not worthy, that you're not this and that. And so you automatically just function off of that default programming that you've received. You automatically expect the worst. You automatically expect failure. You automatically expect not to be good. You automatically expect to be in struggle, and so on and so forth. And this is all unconscious. This is all unconscious stuff, just like with my own stuff around dancing. I'm unconsciously telling myself the story, but I've chosen to break free from that, which is why I'm in the classes. But this is it. I've decided, to release all of this conditioning by putting myself in a position where I can clear these things and release them once and for all, and to really be empowered around dancing, and to believe in myself, and to feel comfortable dancing, and to feel comfortable dancing in front of people and having people watch me. And all of these different things. I've chosen to release all these things by putting myself in a position that allows me to clear those things. And so I know at the end of the 2 months of my classes, because I'm going to be leaving my country soon, so there's no more classes after that. At the end of those 2 months, I'm going to feel so much more confident. I'm going to feel so much braver on the dance floor. I'm going to have so much more fun. I'm going to show up as the true me and have a really great time for maybe the first time in my life dancing salsa. Right? And so this is what I'm talking about, is when you really make the time to go within and to address all of these things and release the programming, the conditioning, the energies, whatever it is, the true you gets to shine through. The true you gets to be experienced. And when you get to experience that version of yourself, you're like, oh my God, I'm so freaking awesome. There is nothing I can't do. Anything and everything is possible for me. You have a great time in life, right? And that is really why this is the greatest gift that you can give yourself, to make the time to do this personal development, to release all of these stories and labels and whatever it is that is keeping you feeling small, weak, incapable, unsuccessful, unworthy, all of the things. And so as you release these things, the true you gets to shine through. You get to have such a better time in life. You get to have more amazing results. And that is really the whole point of this, is that as you release all of this stuff, you get to become unstoppable. You get to create heaven on earth for yourself, right? And that's really what it's all about. So that's what they wanted me to share with all of you today. I really hope that this has helped you. If it did resonate, definitely be sure to give me a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, share your comments with me in the comments below. As I said, all links to follow me on Facebook and wherever else I'm at are in the description below. There's also a link in the comments to download my higher self checklist so you can see how connected you are to this divine truth or not. And you can go through that checklist. And there's also like a free $600 training there for my Clear Your Success Blocks training. So it's 3 videos in which I support you in really going a little bit deeper into these things and start releasing some success blocks you might be having. So the links for all of that are in the description below. Dan says, yes, resonates with me. I see the dancing emojis. Same when I took volleyball lessons. Oh my God, volleyball I would never do. Okay, that's just, in my mind, it's deeply programmed that is painful. So I'm not going to do that. But yes, good for you. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Dan. And if you're interested in really clearing all of these different things and really connecting back to your divine truth and really showing up as the powerful creator that you truly are, I invite you to join me in my Remembering Who You Are 8-week group coaching program. It starts today. I'm going to be going into the group today, doing a welcome video for the people that are already in there. And this program is currently available at $9.99. It's super affordable. It's my most affordable coaching program ever. There are flexible payment plans. If it speaks to you, or if there's something that you're wanting support in and you're not sure if this is for you, reach out to me, message me, and we'll see if it's in alignment for you to join at this time and what it would be able to support you with. So this program is a program for anyone who is really seeking support with releasing traumatic past events, with having greater success in their business, but they understand they need to do more personal development. It's for people who want to really start becoming empowered and recognizing they're the creators of their lives and really being able to manifest those results with so much more ease and grace. And so if this in any way speaks to you and you're interested, reach out to me. It's an absolutely life-changing program. And yeah, I don't think I'll ever offer it at this price ever again. So definitely jump on this if you feel called to do it at this time. If not, maybe down the road it might speak to you, and it's okay. So thank you so much for your time. I send you all so much love. Have an amazing weekend. And if you follow me on my Facebook stuff, I'm doing Psychic Biz Channeling today on my Facebook business page. I show up once a week every Friday, either on my business page or in my group, to do Psychic Biz Channeling. So I channel for people on a question for about an hour. So not like an hour per person, but like I show up for an hour, and during that hour I answer different people's questions, and just one question per person. So I'm going to do that today on my business page. You can go to facebook.com/StefVenturaCoaching, and that's my business page. And also on my business page, I'm going to do another teaching today. And that teaching is going to be around why, hold on a second, I wrote it down earlier. I can't remember, but it's like why spiritual entrepreneurs or psychics and healers a lot of times have a lot of struggles with entrepreneurship. So I'm going to be speaking on that on my business page as well. That's another free teaching. Otherwise, if you can't join me live, I will upload that video to YouTube eventually. So I send you all so much love. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining me, Dan. I'll see you soon. Bye.